Hello friends, it is time to plan out our meals for the month of February. January feels very long, but then short at the same time. I don't know. January always feels like a time warp. But here's what my January was looking like. We used up almost all of the meals. And so now I need to start planning for February. I use a Plum planner. I really like it. It has all my stuff in it. Keep my budget in the back, my meal plan in the back. And so I also keep a very detailed freezer and pantry inventory. So now I'm just gonna go through and see what kind of meat we have in the freezer. I do keep kind of a list here on the other side of meal ideas throughout. Like as things come to me, I'll just kind of jot them down. So most of the planning is really done ahead of time. If I'm good about jotting that down, then I don't need to do much planning when it gets to this point. I just have to put it into my planner and then look up all the ingredients and add them to my grocery list, because I'm going to be grocery shopping here in a couple of days, right at the beginning of February. So let's get started. There's a couple meals I can transfer over that we didn't get to this month, and that's where I'll start, and then we will get this all planned out. All right, here we go. I'm just going to be writing them out and kind of explaining them as we go. This first recipe is for Israeli meatballs, which I fell in love with all of the meatballs when we were in Israel. They were all super delicious. So I found this recipe that uses ground lamb and ground beef, and I think that's what made all of the meatballs different there. I think they all had some ground lamb in them. So I'm definitely going to be trying that out. I will have that linked below. Don't know if it's a success or not yet. And then of course we have to do our Detroit style pizza. I have a whole video dedicated on this. We all absolutely love it. Bang Bang chicken skewers is a newer recipe over the last couple of months, and Jericho really loves this one. So my little ×2 means that I double it, because we're at that point where some recipes have to be double to have enough. Chicken noodle soup is always a favorite of mine, and I'm going to use a whole chicken for this. I just boil the whole chicken gently until the meat's all cooked, and then I use the broth and all the meat and everything, and just do it all in one big pot. Jambalaya is a family favorite, except for Jericho. He does not like it, but he can have leftovers, or sometimes he just has to eat it. Turkey stroganoff, we like beef stroganoff, but as you'll see in my last grocery haul, I got a bunch of turkey because the beef was not a good deal. So we will do that. Korean beef bowl, that's also a family favorite that uses ground beef. And I also have to times that by 2 because that one's not enough, just the single recipe. Homemade hamburger helper. This will be linked down below. I do make a couple of tweaks to it. I leave out the tomato paste because all of us prefer it without it. Smoked turkey, I have a whole turkey in the freezer from Thanksgiving, and I'm going to smoke that out on my smoker grill, and then we'll have lots of extra stuff. Pork tenderloin is one of the ones we didn't get to this month, and so I just transferred that over. Asian pork tacos. This is a really good recipe that I've been making for a very long time. It uses ground pork and then coleslaw mix, or you can do your own cabbage and shredded carrots with a really yummy sauce. Turkey meatballs I've also been making for probably like 20 years. I think I started making that when Jason and I were first married. That's a Jada De Laurentiis recipe. Miso beef ramen, that's a new one from Half Baked Harvest. I have a bunch of brown rice ramen noodles that I'm trying to work through, and then I have a little bit of French dip left in the freezer, and so I think I'm going to use that for the beef part and then just make up the ramen part and follow the rest of the recipe as it's written. We're going to do steaks on the grill. I do have steaks left. That's about the only cut of meat I have left from our quarter of a cow. And we just don't eat a ton of steak. So we'll do that on the grill. We'll have lasagna. What is this one? Oh, turkey pot pie. I will take a bunch of that leftover smoked turkey and just make up a nice turkey pot pie filling and make the pie crust. Fettuccine Alfredo. I may or may not add chicken to that. Sometimes we have it just, you know, meatless, and then sometimes I'll grill up some chicken or cook up some chicken to have with it. Pulled ham is going to be an experiment. We have this big, like, smoked ham from the pig that we had bought, and it's just kind of a weird cut. So I'm going to try to do it like pulled pork on the smoker. I've seen some people do that, and we're going to see how it turns out. Might be a total flop. We'll see. Good old spaghetti and tacos. Those are staples. Everybody likes them. Then pork carnitas, and I have ×2. And if you see me writing in parentheses there, that's just like the fresh stuff that I need to remind myself, because I don't get all the fresh stuff when I do my month-long grocery shopping trip. And that just reminds me, if I'm going to have that like in the next, you know, if I'm going to save that to the end of the month, I need to get that stuff halfway through the month. That's going to be another team dinner for Julia's basketball team. Then we're going to do cracked chicken. That's just a super easy one in the crock pot. All of us like it. It's very easy. Pork banh mi burger. That's a new one I'm going to try. And I'm also going to make homemade hamburger buns to go with it. So it takes ground pork, and then there's a bunch of seasonings and stuff in it. And I think everybody will like it. We'll see how it goes. I think we all really like Asian flavors, and so I think we're going to like it. What is this one? Oh, chicken burrito bowls. I used to make this in my Instapot because I had a different pressure cooker, and it made it perfectly. And then my new pressure cooker will not make this. The rice burns and stuff, which is very annoying. Then breakfast we never got to this month, so we're going to go ahead and flip that to the next month. And then lasagna soup. It just uses up a bunch of my home canned ingredients I have downstairs, and so I like to throw that on there. That's kind of like an emergency meal. You know, I always have the stuff for that one. Now that the dinners are all planned out, I'm just going to go through and give some lunch ideas, give some breakfast ideas, and then this is just to remind myself of things that I have that I can make. Texas sheet cake, if you've never made that, it is really delicious, really, really good, and very simple to make. But I just want to make sure that I have all these ingredients, like for lunch especially. And then anything I write on the sides or snacks is something that I either have to prepare ahead of time and remind myself, or I just want to make sure I have the ingredients for it. Like, I don't write down broccoli or salad or any of those veggie side dishes. It's basically if I just need extra ingredients. And you'll see I have Dots pretzels up there. I am perfecting a homemade Dots pretzel recipe that I'm going to be sharing later on in the month. I'm almost there. I think I've got it how we like it to taste like Dots pretzels. If you've never had Dots pretzels, I'm sorry for you, because they are very delicious. It's like a buttery, twisted, seasoned pretzel. Then for breakfast, I'm just writing down some ideas. I'm going to try a breakfast pizza with this crescent dough I have in the freezer. And there we have it. Thanks so much for watching. As always, everything that I can link will be linked down below. And if there's a recipe that I mentioned that I don't have a link for, it's probably because it's like on a recipe card that I have, which I'm happy to type out for you in the comments if you just ask for it. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!